have heard from previous previous released Palestinian detainees. They said that conditions inside Israeli jails are quite unbearable. We know that they have been forced to deal with huge psychological pressure, and they are right now moving gradually inside the medical center, and we can see that the medical teams are waiting for them. Medical teams are still waiting for them, and Palestinian detainees one by one are getting inside this medical center in order to be examined by medical teams and to be later reunited with the crowds on the site here.
And Tariq, we can see very well actually these Palestinian detainees who are starting to get off the bus. There will be several buses given the large number of detainees involved, 1,700. So this may play out over perhaps even hours. We can see very clearly they're all wearing the gray prison clothes that have. All right, Tariq, we're listening.
Yes, so now Palestinian detainees have started to completely be reunited. Once we can see a number of detainees now are getting out from the medical center, and security forces are trying to maintain the situation. Now we can see more buses are still moving on the ground, and they are full of detainees. We are expecting that 1,700 detainees will be released today as a part of the deal. We can see the scenes of jubilation around me, and now we can hear somebody on the speaker saying that, telling the names of Palestinian detainees in order just to give a hint for their relatives to completely be aware that they will be released shortly. And the quite tense, and people are really still waiting to see their loved ones getting out from this medical center. Now, the security members are trying to encircle the area so they can have some sort of organization and organizing for the entire ritual and this ceremonial event on the ground. So people are at the other side here, they are waiting, and they are still waiting. You can see how they are chanting and how they are celebrating by hearing the names of the Palestinian detainees who have arrived to the medical center and now given the permission to completely be reunited with their loved one. We can hear now the huge gunfire sound being heard, and now they are there in the frame, as you can see them. They are wearing Israeli shirts that were given them by the authority of jails, and now they are drinking water, having a sense of respite. They get some sort of a fresh air, regarding the brutal periods that they have spent behind Israeli jails. You can see now how they are lining up and waving to their loved ones. This scene is quite symbolic for Palestinians. They believe that the period that those detainees have spent in jails have changed their psychological and physical well-being. For many of them, they have been detained by the Israeli military with being physically fit, and now they are really looking older, with more medical complications being seen over the faces. It reflects
a lot of these guys are sick, in other words. They all lost mad weight and they look bad, they say.
Before their release,
fucked up.
Especially regarding the affordability of food and water. We have heard from previous detainees that before the Israeli military released them from jails, they are completely being allowed to get some good amount of food and water. But for now, they are right now just a few seconds away to be reunited with their loved ones. And let's take a look now at the scene at the moment. This is the scene at the moment, and how Palestinian families are trying to be completely surrounding this area. This is a jubilation moment for many Palestinians. It's filled with joy, happiness, and many mothers around us are really shedding tears of happiness. They say that we did not believe that Palestinian detainees will be released today due to the Israeli broken promises before and multiple delays that we have witnessed in previous ceasefires regarding the release of Palestinian detainees. So the situation remains very intense and filled with the joy and with even celebration. Those detainees have been really going through horrific times. Even before their detention, they were forced to leave their houses. They have been under the threat of attack multiple times. And on the ground, we can see that those who are right now out of the jails possibly might not recognize the loved ones due to the level of change that has been made in Gaza, and even the well-being of those families who are waiting at the other.
A lot of these people come home, their whole families are dead.
Can really has been really going through difficult and unimaginable times. People say that we have gone through a period of famine, destruction, decimation for civilian infrastructure, and multiple times we have been under the threat of Israeli attacks. And despite all of this kind of thing, despite all level of suffering that they have been enduring, people have gathered here today, starting to celebrate, starting to wait patiently to see their loved ones free without any kind of restriction on their movement or even on their ability to live in their country under the current terms of the ceasefire deal. And for those families as well, they believe that Palestinian detainees must all be released from Israeli detention centers, given the Israeli wider-scale detention and arrest campaign that was really seen across multiple areas in Gaza. People say that once the Israeli military invade a certain geographical area, they usually try to surround and to invade main urban centers, including schools that were sheltering displaced families, and then later they used to start to split between